so glad that we are all joined together today. Let's all lift our voices together in song as we sing, Your Grace is Enough.
Well, good morning, everybody. So good to see all of your beautiful faces out there, and happy to know that there's many more connecting with us this morning through our YouTube and Facebook channel, and how blessed we are to be together. I just returned from the Unity Conference, the annual Unity Conference, and I can report that all is well in the world despite the many, many challenges and the place we are in our human evolution right now. There are lots of people out there wrestling with it, working towards living into who we are, and that is unity. Unity means that we can collectively love and respect and be in that place of non-judgment, have this as a safe space for people to come in and wrestle with all the things that might be going on in their own life and in our world. So I'm grateful to know that we're not just some isolated community here, but there are many, many, hundreds and hundreds of communities just like us across our country and in our world, because there were people as far away from Africa and Unity communities that came to our conference. So I'm just it lifted my heart a little bit, because sometimes it can feel like we're just walking and struggling this path on our own. And I'm so grateful to the people who made last Sunday happen and pivoted. And I just want to give a special shout of thanks to Byron, because not only was he our guest speaker last week, he ended up pivoting, and Jessica, who stepped in at the last minute because Noelle was sick. They just made it all come together. And I'm sure for many of you watching, you didn't realize that there had been a lot of navigating how the service was going to unfold that day, in addition to having an air conditioner get plugged up and flow some water into our sanctuary. So there's always something that we get to work through, and we get to discover how flexible we truly are when we're asked to pivot and change in the midst of unexpected circumstances. If you're joining us for the first time, either here in person or online, we want to say a special good morning to you. We're glad you're here and hope that what you experienced today will resonate with you. And we welcome you to become an active part. You don't have to be a member to participate here. We have lots of different activities beyond Sunday service in which you can get involved, and we hope that you'll find those places that nurture and enliven and bring greater understanding and awareness to you, both at a human level and at a soul level. We'd love to connect with you. If you're joining us for the first time, you'll see a little card in front of you, or you can go to centerofunity.org to our Connect tab and just tell us who you are, tell us what your experience is about, and if you want to be a part of our weekly e-news that we send out, that will just keep you appraised of all the different ways in which you can come and connect with people and be a part of the activities that we offer. We are here, to create this space where people can truly know the divine of their own being and that divinity that is in and through all of creation. And to do that, and when we do that, we actually can experience a transformation not only in our own lives, and it may be that nothing changes on the outer, but how we show up for it within us and how we respond or react to it is where the transformation happens. And then it's not enough just to, have that experience for ourselves. We want to go and make a positive difference in the world, however that looks for each individual. So I invite you to join with me as we once again affirm who we have come here to be and our evolutionary purpose. Let's speak it together. Transforming lives and inspiring people to make a positive difference in the world. Well, we're going to sing one more time just to get that energy flowing this morning.
Speaking of energy flowing, let's all stand as we sing this song.
My name is Grant, and I have the esteemed pleasure of serving with Miss Norma. It's an honor. We're a member of your care team, and we just want to give you a quick reminder. After the service, the care team is going to be providing a healing service, and everybody is invited to that. So today's word is guidance. With an open heart and mind, I heed divine guidance.
If I am feeling lost or do not know which way to turn, I take comfort in knowing I can pray and bring my awareness to my consciousness of God. Wherever I am on my spiritual journey, I receive divine guidance continually, and it is up to me to heed it. Divine guidance does me little good if I doubt it or feel too hesitant to act upon it. I commit to remaining open and receptive as I receive my guidance, even if the call of my heart surprises me, even if I doubt I can do what I am being called to do. I trust the still, small voice within, and I affirm I am divinely guided and faith-filled.
From Isaiah 58:11, the Lord will guide you continually and satisfy your needs in parched places, and make your bones strong, and you shall be like a watered garden, like a spring of water, whose waters never fails. So if you'll bow your head in prayer, take a moment, take a deep breath in, and release everything that is not God. And know in that stillness, there's a small but very strong voice. And that voice whispers his guidance to you. As we set aside our doubts, and we know there is one and only one God, and God's only desire for us is our highest and greatest good. For all the people that have asked for prayer support, not only in our prayer box, but even in our lives, we know that God is reaching out to them, God is healing them, and God is providing peace and contentment. And we claim those qualities for ourselves. And we know that we are never lost, such that God can guide us back to safety, to contentment, and to peace. And we know through God we will experience outrageous abundance, a lot of fun, and be of service to each other. And with this we say, amen.
That's a David Alt song. So, meditation has been an integral part of the unity movement from its very beginning. So this morning, I'm just curious, why do we meditate? And you can speak. To connect. Center ourselves, hear God. A pause. To enter the silence. Yeah, a lot of people do it for different reasons. Myrtle Fillmore, one of our co-founders, discovered that through meditation she could heal her body of what was then termed a terminal illness, which was tuberculosis. And Charles, her husband, after observing her healing, used meditation to lengthen one of his legs that had been about 4 or 5 inches shorter due to breaking his hip. And back in the 1800s, they didn't have good hip replacement surgery available. And he was able to, over a period of time, lengthen it by about 3 inches so that he no longer had to walk with a special shoe device. He could walk with a little bit of a gait, but pretty naturally. And beyond that, Charles became very interested in meditation as a path to illumined thinking and understanding, where he could go and be present with what I would call that realm of unlimited possibilities, what today is often termed as the quantum field, the realm where all of the ideas that are still in their formless state can be brought down and utilized in our everyday life. He often spent 4 hours or more a day in meditation, and Myrtle was usually in that state of prayer and meditation for about a similar time. So it was a big part of their day. It's hard to imagine that now in our very busy lives, that we could set aside a big chunk, or that we're willing to set aside a big chunk of our day that way. He went into this silence with an intention to receive divine ideas and share them with other truth students who were on this journey. And it resulted in a number of writings, including the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary and the Revealing Word and other writings that we have today. They described it as sitting in the silence, accessing that realm of divine possibilities. You know, some 100+ years later, the practice of meditation and the interest in it has increased. It is now much more mainstream. It isn't something that weird hippies do or yogis do, but we are learning the benefits that it gives us in our everyday lives, regardless of our spiritual understanding. There's been a lot of studies done, and they can measure that it reduces stress and anxiety. It can help improve concentration. It can offer us a deeper and better sleep. And many also have reported these physical healings that happen, not just in their body, but in the emotional body, physical body, but the emotional body, and even, some would say, the spiritual body. And it didn't matter what your spiritual beliefs were. What mattered was that you ultimately were able to detach from everything out there for a period of time and just be present with that divine energy, that spark of divinity that is within each of us. As these practices have increased, there have been many studies, and our science and the ability to understand what's going on in the body has expanded. There have been many studies on the physical benefits of meditation. Many universities and organizations have studied this using brain imagery techniques, by monitoring EKG, the heart variability, blood chemistry, and there's so much more. They're just continuing to expand and think about how can we really understand what's happening physiologically as well as in our brain activity and for some in that realm of spiritual connection. And through these studies, we know more now of what happens physically and even emotionally when we meditate. This morning I want to share my understanding, and I hope I have a decent understanding of the work that Dr. Joe Dispenza has been doing. As many of you know, I have shared a little bit about how he invites people to enter this state of meditation, which is his primary work. I mean, that's understanding and then knowledge, and then you meditate. He's done many, many studies in conjunction with University of California, San Diego, to really try and understand what happens when a person goes into that meditative state, and how, through that understanding, we can be more intentional with the way that we move into that meditative process. So, I'm going to do this kind of old school here, and maybe Nick, you can focus on this just a little bit as I'm talking about it. So this is my understanding of why this meditative process is effective for both transformative healing and what I'm going to call reaching the quantum field, that realm of divine possibilities, what some have called a mystical experience, that place that we can discover who we are beyond this 3D material world. Charles and Myrtle Fillmore experienced this, but they didn't really have the words and the language to describe why or how this happened. So I want to begin with the basic premise that all thoughts and emotions are energy. How many can say, yeah, I believe that? We learn scientifically now everything is energy. Even this that seems solid is energy. It's just vibrating at a much lower level. And there are many things that vibrate at different levels. So just with that understanding that all thoughts and emotions are energy, consider all the thoughts and emotions that occur within you from the moment you wake up until you fall asleep. They often start with the body when you first wake up, the thoughts that flow through our head that cause us to care for it, to feed it, to clean it, to exercise it, the thoughts and emotions around how it feels, whether we're feeling pain, whether we're tired, whether we're feeling energetic because we had a great night's sleep. What am I going to wear? How am I going to clothe this body? There's lots when you think about how often you think and have emotions attached to this physical earth suit that supports us. And then there are the thoughts and emotions surrounding our relationships. These are very plentiful, typically, at least in my experience. Our partners, our kids, our grandkids, our parents, our siblings, our boss or coworkers, if we're still working, our friends, our pets, the government, all of the systems that are out there. We extend a fair amount of energy to these thoughts and the emotions that accompany it. Then notice how your thoughts are occupied by the things in your life. Your house, your car, your finances, your vacations, the phone, the computer, the emails, the Facebook, the Twitter, all the ways in which we use things in our life to go about our day-to-day. And how about the places where you need to be, the appointments, the meetings, the classes, the social events, all of those things that we occupy thoughts about, typically on a daily basis. And finally, just pay attention to, I want you to just start observing that as you go throughout your day. How often are all these thoughts and emotions about things that happened in the past or things that might happen in the future? things that are not specifically about this present moment. And these can be positive things or negative things. So there's no judgment on what, but just how often our thoughts are extended out there. So if you look at this, you can see all of this energy is being extended outward. It's about the things around us and not necessarily about what's happening in this present moment. So what would happen if we all of a sudden were able to, I'm going to try this here, disconnect for whatever period of time through all these different areas of our life? So now we're moving the energy. This is really old school. If I would have had time, I would have done a great PowerPoint presentation, but that required more brain cells than I was willing to give, and my time would allow. So now all of a sudden, all of that energy that was outwardly focused is now available for your body, for the healing of emotions, for tapping into spiritual ideas, that all of that energy now gets returned to ourselves. And that's the beauty of meditation, because now we have all of this energy that's available, whether it's to be part of our healing process or to be part of our spiritual awakening process. Because one of the challenges that happens when all of our thoughts are focused out here is they are often intertwined, intermixed, and what his work would call incoherent, especially if they're accompanied by the emotions of stress, anxiety, worry, fear, which I think most people say, yeah, that shows up in my day-to-day life. I just have to watch the news for a few minutes, and there they all show up. So one of the things that happens when we can pull all of this energy back to our energetic field within us is the heart now moves into a state of coherence. I've got a picture up there to show you. So when we're in those states of highly stressful emotions, our heart beats in an incoherent, erratic manner, and so do our thoughts. Have you ever noticed the more anxiety ratchets up within you, the less clearly you can think? The thoughts are just going everywhere. So the top shows you what it looks like, and these are not necessarily the EKG brainwaves, but the heart, when they measure it. When we're in those places of frustration, anxiety, stress, everything is pretty erratic. By moving into this inward space, and especially, because the first process that we do when we're moving into meditation is to bring elevated thoughts into our heart space. So to start cultivating those emotions of gratitude, of appreciation, of love, of compassion, those emotions immediately move us into a state of heart coherence. They've demonstrated this time and time again. They can measure it. They know as soon as you've activated your heart and you're now feeling a sense of love or compassion, they can see immediately that the heart, and when the heart goes into coherence, it will immediately send the right signals so that the brain goes into that same rhythmic, coherent place. So moving into this meditation state, what Dr. Joe calls focusing our attention on nothing. And remember on Palm Sunday, I kind of talked about how that was an odd term for me at first, this nothing and no one and nowhere. And, I want something. I want peace. I want, some joy. I don't want nothing. But as we begin to understand it, when we remove all of this, what's in the center here is what he calls that space of nothing. So imagine when we take our attention off of our body, we now become nobody. If we're not thinking about ourselves and all the things that are going in our life, we move ourselves to that space where we just are. We are just being that eternal part of us. We are not identified with all of the stuff that we've attached to defining who this body is. And when we shift our attention and our thoughts away from all the people and the relationships in our lives, we become no one. The same is true for letting go of the thoughts about all the places and the things that we need to do in this day. We move into a sense of nowhere. If we're not out there thinking about what needs to happen, we are nowhere is synonymous with the present moment. And when we stop thinking about all the stuff in our lives, we become that state of nothing. And as we do that, and our attention moves away from thoughts about the past or the future, we move into a space of no time, that eternal moment that's always present. So one takeaway that I would love for you to work with, to think about, to practice is where we place our attention is where we place our energy. If those thoughts and emotions are energy, think about where are we placing our attention. So if we want to bring and have that meditative experience, we have to take our attention off of all those things. And I know it's not always easy to do, but I'm trying to help you understand that what happens when you do that is you now have energy available for whatever you're seeking, you're praying about, or you're desiring to bring forth in your life. What this does physiologically is move us from the state that we often are in throughout our day with the sympathetic nervous system, which kicks in anytime there's any fear, there's any anxiety, there's any stress. We get on the road to drive, that sympathetic, because there might be danger. At any moment, somebody could cut us off, so we're in that state of readiness, vigilance to respond. And when we can move into this state of heart coherence, what it does for us is allows us, our body's parasympathetic nervous system, to kick in, whose function is to rest, to renew, and to repair the body. If we never get to that place in our daily lives, we are in this state of constant disrepair. Our body doesn't have the energy necessary to help us renew, to help us re-energize, to help us be able to show up from a place of calm within us. And as I mentioned just a few moments ago, the quickest way that they've discovered to move into this place of heart coherence is to focus on the heart center, this energy center that's right in the middle of our body, with elevated emotions. So we bring to mind something, someone, some place that we are grateful for, that we deeply appreciate, whether it's a loved one or a fur baby or the beach or some other part of our life that we are deeply grateful for. That's the power of gratitude and appreciation. It brings us almost immediately into a place of heart coherence. So all of the meditations start with this focus on the heart center and seeking to elevate those emotions of gratitude and appreciation, of love, of compassion. And as soon as we begin to do that, the parasympathetic nervous system goes, oh, I'm safe right now. Things are okay. I can get to work on doing what I need to do to heal and repair. And it's not just the body, But this happens at the subconscious level too, that we can heal and repair those things about us. I think this is what Jesus would do. We're told often Jesus would each day go step away and be apart for a while. Whether he understood this physiological process or not, he knew that in order to be able to do the work that was his to do, he had to have that time to step away and disconnect from all of this stuff in the 3D world and allow himself that time in the quietness, in the silence, to reconnect with the eternal truth. A lot of people come to us for healing. And when I went to this advanced retreat of Dr. Joe Dispenza's in April, I went with the intention of healing a certain part of my physicality because I wanted to have something that I could measure. And what I went in with the intention was to lower my cholesterol. It had been very high when it was tested in January. I had been very resistant and did not take the statins that were prescribed for me. And I knew I had to go see my PA. The Friday after this was done, I had to have blood work done on Monday, and then I had to go see the PA. And I wanted to have the results where my cholesterol was pretty close to normal, if not normal. So I focused on my LDL, because that's the bad cholesterol, and it was at 187. Yeah. And I set my intention that I wanted it 120 or less. I have to go in the realm of believability. And for me, that was one that's like, I can believe I can get that down to 120 or less. Because I hadn't made significant changes in other aspects of my life that would have facilitated this more quickly. When I got my blood work back on that Tuesday, my LDL was 117, and all other aspects of my cholesterol were in the normal range. That's how powerful. Now, I spent 40 plus hours in meditation that week, so I spent a lot of time in that space, allowing whatever. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I don't understand how the blood chemistry and genes, and he explains it all, and I kind of can understand, but I couldn't explain, how proteins and new proteins and upregulating genes, and, I just knew this was what I was going to set my intention for, and that I was going to focus on however that needed to unfold and follow the guidance that I got. So that is our invitation today. I'm going to invite us to go into a place of meditation, to let go, even if it's just for 5 minutes, of the stress, the anxiety, and the worry that might be ruminating within your thoughts and in your emotions, and see if we can't, just for a few moments, know that we are an eternal, divine being, even if all of this went away and was destroyed in this moment. There is an essence of who we are, and that essence is eternal, and it is what I call divine love. So just as you get comfortable where you're at, you might want to close your eyes just to block out the physicality around you, or just soften your gaze. And just take a deep breath. And as you let that breath go, set your intention that this be a time where you can move into that space for rest, for renewal, for repair, in body, in mind, in emotion, and in spirit. And as you just breathe naturally into this moment, I invite you to bring your attention into your heart center, that place in the center of your chest, and just begin, as you place your attention there, to bring to mind something or someone or as many that show up that you are deeply grateful for, that you appreciate, that you love, that you have compassion for. And just let those thoughts and the accompanying emotions increase that energy of the heart center. You might feel a sense of tingling or movement in that area of your body. You might just notice that there is a sense of calm that begins to settle over your body. It's almost as if you're now breathing in and out of your heart center. And if thoughts rise up about some aspect of this human journey, just set them to the side for the moment. And with your next breath, bring yourself back to your heart center. This becomes a practice that the more we do it, the more that the mind and the thoughts that run through the mind begin to be willing to suspend for a period of time. And as we are focused in this heart center, our emotions of love and gratitude begin to rise more and more often into this moment that we're experiencing. There's nothing more we need to do other than to allow this divine energy to do its work. So we just keep our attention centered on our heart. If we wander, we just gently bring it back. And we just allow for the next minute to be with it, to bring all of our attention and awareness into this part of our being and simply rest as we move for a time into the silence. And as you take a deep breath, bringing your awareness back to this time and space, aware of the chair supporting your body, the natural breathing that's occurring, know that you can return to this place in any moment. And each time that you do, you open the space for healing, for renewal, for divine ideas. And we give thanks for the awareness and for this opportunity to know who we are and who we've come here to be. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. So just to wrap things up, I will also share that the Heart Center is also our bridge to that divine presence within us, as both of our co-founders experienced. When the heart and the brain are in coherence, when we are open, when we are in that liminal space, detached from all of our outer world, it becomes possible to pull back the veil on this three-dimensional experience that we are having into the realm of the formless, where all possibilities exist, what Dr. Joe calls the quantum field. And when we are able to do that and set our attention and be open to it, we begin to experience, and perhaps you've had some of these experiences, that now all of a sudden new ideas show up, synchronistic opportunities appear, the right people are all of a sudden now showing up and supporting you in whatever that intention, that desire is that you put out into this realm of possibilities. It is that experience of our oneness with the divine spiritual realm. And I just want to share that this meditative process can happen any time that you detach your energy from your thoughts and your emotions with the outer world. You don't have to be sitting in a particular posture. It can happen, and people experience this when you immerse yourself in nature. And now you are just that heart coherence of wonder and awe at the beauty, at the intricacy of creation begins to take hold. Perhaps it's working in your garden or running. People call it the runner's high because they let go of everything and just get into that rhythm. And in that space, then, they are able to open themselves up to an expanded experience. Whenever the creative process, people often talk about, when you get immersed in some kind of art project or something, even it sometimes work, when you are just solely focused on that and you have detached from everything else, you experience that energy of no time. You experience those divine ideas that just seem to flow. And we can now know that it happens in this process of being able to detach. And it's not always easy. It's hard when we're in the middle of a highly stressful situation to go, okay, I'm just not going to think about it anymore. I'm going to feel grateful even for that. But yet with practice, we can do it. What I've learned, and what I'm really discovering the benefits, even though I've been in this spiritual journey for a long time, I typically only gave about 15 or 20 minutes to my meditation every day. It was a good way to start my day. I usually did a little spiritual reading. I'd go sit with it, allow it to be present, and then sometimes journal about it. Since I've been to this workshop, I made a commitment that I was going to meditate a minimum of 30 minutes a day. Typically, it's an hour, and sometimes, especially on really rough days, it might be 2 hours. And so that's what I want to encourage you and invite you to do, is just experiment with this. There are guided ones out there. There's lots of resources. I know Insight Timer and Calm. There's lots of apps you can go to now, and sometimes guided helps you because it just, you tend to, go off on tangents, and it sort of brings you back to stay centered in that space. But be willing to commit some period of time of your day when your intention is to just detach and to be in the heart and to feel those higher elevated emotions and then see what unfolds as a result. In those times when we are in that liminal space of nothing, we discover that there's something, and if you do it long enough, and go deeper with it, you'll find out it's everything.
There was something in the desert. There was some place wild and green, and a child in a village I have passed through. There are places that I've traveled, and many things I've seen, and it all fades away. But you, I was sliding down a mountain. I was burning in the sun. I was crying with amazement at the view. I was captured in a moment, but when all is said and done, well, it all fades away. But you, it all fades away. It all fades away. It all fades away. But you, I have sailed across the ocean, past the cities and the farms, on a never-ending quest for something new. And the only thing that mattered was keeping out of harm, 'cause it all fades away. But you, it all fades away. It all fades away. It all fades away. But you, there is one thing that's eternal, that cannot be torn apart. It's the one thing that remains forever true. Past the thinking, past the breathing, part of being of my heart, and it all fades away. But you, it all fades away. It all fades away. It all fades away. But you, it all fades away. It all fades away. It all fades away. But you, but you, but you.
Beautiful. Thank you for indulging me a little bit more today. I know we're running a little bit behind, and hopefully our kiddos gives them a little extra time to have fun in their outdoor activities today. Well, it is our time to share of our financial good with our ministry. We are in that energy of gratitude for all that we receive and all the ways that we are called to send that back out into the world. In just a moment, the ushers are going to invite you to come up row by row and place your gift in the basket. And even if you give electronically or this is not your Sunday to share, we want you to be in that flow, experience that flow of giving and receiving. You can either use a card or just simply put your hand over the basket. See that abundance flowing in and through, and then receive an affirmation to bless you this week. So let us take what we offer into our hands and into our hearts and bless it together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, Father, Mother God.
Hello, I'm June Brookshire, one of your board members. I wanted to take a minute to update you today on where we are financially and other things the board is working on that you may not have heard about through other channels. As many of you are aware, we recently had to renew our property insurance, and once again, we were forced to go to the high-risk market to secure it due to our large insurance claim in 2022. Thank goodness we got through that wonderfully. All is well. This year's policy was close to $34,000. I know y'all have heard this, but this is a review. We were able to pull $10,000 from our reserve. In addition, we have received more than $15,000 in donations from our members in our community. And for the remaining, we tapped into our line of credit. Yay, prosperity. As of today, the balance on the line of credit is $8,800. At the board meeting this week, we will determine how much of our monthly general operating income we can commit to paying this off, probably around $1,000 a month. We are asking you to do what you can to help us retire this debt as quickly as possible. If 50 people in our community could give an extra $20 per month, we could easily pay this off in a few months. Please be sure to note your extra gift is for the loan payoff, and we remain open to the many channels of abundance with God as our source. God is good. There are many, many treasures for us on this earth and in heaven because of God. We are truly grateful to all the ways in which you support our community through your prayers, your service, and your financial support. Thank you so much.
Here's what's coming up at Center of Unity. Join Reverend Linda and the care team in the sanctuary right after service, where they will lead a peaceful time of reflection and connection, followed by a brief meditation. Everyone who wishes will receive healing affirmations and supportive energy from the care team. It's a beautiful way to center yourself and experience community. Help us support our neighbors in need. Bring non-perishable, shelf-stable food items to Fellowship Hall by the last Sunday for the Grace Food Pantry. Healthier options like low sodium, low sugar, and high fiber foods are especially appreciated. Please remember to check those expiration dates. Want to discuss today's message in more detail? Then join us in person or online next Sunday at 9:30 a.m. for Adult Sunday School, where there's always an interactive and lively discussion. The Zoom ID is on the screen, or you can access it from our website or the COU app. Come to Fellowship Hall after service on the first Sundays of each month for a love offering community lunch featuring different themes. Invite your friends for this time of fellowship and great food. There are multiple ways you can make a donation to Center of Unity. You can drop your donation off at the church, mail it to our P.O. Box, visit our website, or use the COU or Venmo app. Your continued support is greatly appreciated.
Move this over here. All righty. I bet those kiddos are ready to come in.
Let's sing 'em
them
in. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
All right, good morning, everyone. All righty, so today they can, just a minute, Henry. You'll get your turn. He's very excited to share. All right, so the preschoolers heard A Mother for Choco, and they did some crafts for that, and then the big kids watched the another segment of Finding Nemo, and they will share about the lessons they learned from that as well.
Today we made a bird named Chico out of paper and feathers and paper plates and stuff. Today we watched a part of Finding Nemo. It was the part where the dad meets Dory. Oh, the dad meets Dory, and then Nemo gets put in the tank, and then like they find the sharks, and then before, like after the part where we watched, Nemo walks across the fish tank, and then at the end he finds a new name for him.
Thank you.
The part of Finding Nemo that we watched, it taught us that we need to overcome our fears. And then we went outside and we played a game where there were little things on the floor, and someone was at the end with a water gun, and you had to run across them. And when you were in the areas, they couldn't hit you, but if you got hit with the water gun, you were out.
Okay.
Okay, and then next week, then will be our multi-gen service where our youth will be participating in the service.
Yes, they will. In fact, they're going to be leading a good part of it. So I know we don't have many of our older kids today here, but they're going to be here next week yes, it's summer vacation. It's all good. All right. Well, we're going to ask you to stand. We're going to join hands. We're going to sing the peace song and wrap our day up.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as our Father, run the all away. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And so as we go into this day, into this week, and next Sunday, learn more about the prayer for protection. That is the way we end our time together. We'll do it as call and response. The light of God surrounds us.
I am the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
I am the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
I am the power of God.
The presence of God watches over us.
I am the presence of God.
Together, wherever we are, God is, and all is well.